Hello and welcome to the weekly wrap up. I'm Joshua Ma from the Asia Private Equity Center. We are closing out the first quarter of 2026 with a bang. Private equity is ramping up across Asia, driven by a powerful combination of massive private sector exit and aggressive government tech initiative. First, let's talk about the big payouts. We have seen over $6.8 billion distributed this week. Yes, it's 6.8 billion. I'm not inflating the numbers. How does this come about? Well, it is Spain selling down Kiosera, which returned a massive $5.5 billion. And in the US, SoftBank Vision Funds PayPay debuted on the Nasdaq with a 13.5% jump in share price, netting nearly $400 million. Despite market jitters from the ongoing conflicts in Iran, specific tech pays are thriving. Other heavy hitters, Carlyle, Longreach, and Han & Co. also par down their interest through trade sale. Malaysia also defied the war-dampened sentiment with its largest IPO in nearly a decade. Sunway Healthcare surged 30% on its debut, allowing GIC to pocket roughly $330 million in a partial exit. Moving from exits to investments, China's ambition to become a global tech superpower is clearly sparking a regional chain reaction. South Korea, the government just pledged 10 trillion won or $6.7 billion into the AI sector. The goal? To cultivate a Korean rival to NVIDIA. In Japan, the JIC is looking abroad to bolster homegrown talent, allocating $100 million to US-based NEA to strengthen the local startup ecosystem. In China, we're seeing active commitments in quantum chips and brain-computer interface. Plus, the low-altitude economy got a lift this week, with an eVTOL maker securing nearly $200 million. Now, a quick look at what else is moving the needle this week. Private credit. While the US remains nervous, Australia is doubling down. Interest remains high with 2 private credit funds formed this week. For the energy sector, in Australia, Main Sequence is betting on thermal storage. While in India, Leapfrog and Carlyle Alpinvest put $95 million into renewable power. Looking to next week, all eyes are on India, the country's largest ever IPO, over $4 billion, is about to hit the stage. Reliance Jio is filing its prospectus, not to raise new cash, but to let existing investors cash out. It will be the ultimate test of who is selling and what kind of returns they have managed to achieve. That's your weekly wrap-up. I'm Joshua Ma. Thanks for listening. To have a deeper insight, please subscribe to listen our daily summation or visit our website www.asiape.com. We'll see you next week.